Today, inflation is still alive and well. Hello again, it's Martin North from Digital Finance Analytics, with latest post covering finance and properties with a distinctively Australian flavour. The monthly CPI indicator rose 7.3% in the 12 months to November, up from 6.9% the previous month. The ABS said this reading is indicating ongoing inflationary pressures. And the important trimmed mean rose from 5.4% to 5.6%, which is well above the RBA's target, which suggests that they will have to lift rates further in February when they next meet. The most significant price rises were housing up 9.6%, food and non-alcoholic beverages up 9.4%, transport up 9%, furniture, household equipment and services up 8.4%, and recreation and culture up 5.8%. Now, at this point, it's worth noting that the ABS moved their housing weights down by 1 point between 2021 and 2022, while lifting the recreation and culture weight up 2.2 points. So there is some distortion here. This, to me, makes little sense, knowing the pressure on rentals and other housing-related costs. But of course, the direct costs of mortgage payments, which are rising, are excluded from the CPI calculation altogether. And also note that 4 additional monthly data series have been included under the food and non-alcoholic beverages group, including bread and cereal products, dairy and related products, other food products, and non-alcoholic beverages. The ABS said new dwelling prices rose 17.9% in the year to November as builders passed through higher costs for labour and materials. The rate of price growth eased in November compared to the 20.4% annual rise in October. Fewer payments of government construction grants compared to November 2021 also contributed to the rise in new dwelling prices. Rent prices increased further this month from an annual rise of 3.5% in October to 3.6% in November, reflecting a tight rental market. Now, this, of course, is all rents, not just new rents, which CoreLogic reported is up by around 10%. The ABS said that over the 12 months to November, price rises were seen across all food categories. These rises reflect a range of pricing pressures, including supply chain issues and increased input costs. The main contributor to the annual rise was meals out and takeaway foods, which rose 7.3% due to rising input costs, fresh food supply issues, and labour shortages, plus, of course, some wage rises. Fruit and vegetables rose 9.5% in the year to November, and that subgroup continues to be impacted by flooding, heavy rainfall, and hail in key growing areas, alongside high transport and fertiliser costs. Automotive fuel prices increased 16.6% in the 12 months to November. That's up from 11.8% in October. The restoration of the Australian government's fuel excise on the 29th of September contributed to higher prices for automotive fuel in October and early November, as the increase in fuel excise started to filter through as petrol stations used up their existing fuel reserves. And average prices for unleaded petrol peaked at $2.01 in early November, before falling approximately 22 cents by the end of November. The furniture, household equipment and services group rose 8.4% in the year to November, and higher freight and raw material costs recorded in mid-2022 contributed to price rises for furniture. Non-durable household products contributed to the rise, driven by price increases for cleaning and maintenance products. Holiday travel and accommodation prices rose 12.8% in the year to November, up from 3.7% in October. High jet fuel prices and strong travel demand throughout 2022 compared to COVID-19 affected 2021 have contributed to higher prices for airfares and accommodation. And in monthly terms, November's increase of 4.3% varies from the falls usually seen in November, reflecting strong consumer demand for domestic accommodation and domestic and international airfares. But the point here, of course, is that these monthly numbers are somewhat interim. We really need to wait for the quarterly numbers, which will be out in a month or so, to really get a good read on what's going on. The ABS continues to say that these monthly indicators are just that. They're not necessarily definitive. But the fact that the inflation number's higher, that the core inflation is higher, suggests to me the RBA will need to lift rates again in February, and now it will be a question of whether it's 25 basis points or whether they will need to go 50, because one of the critical issues now emerging is the impact of rising wages. And I have a feeling that this wage rise discussion is going to really be part of the next few months as we try and understand where inflation is going. So, unfortunately, no great news here. Inflation is still raging. The RBA will have to react. I'm Martin North from Digital Finance Analytics. Many thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.